Teacher talking sports, what does, what it do, how we live, and it's time for this teacher to make his weekly picks against the spread. Week 1 was an absolute disaster, but I rebounded. Yes, week 1 seems like everything that could go wrong went wrong. So many games I kind of lost in a flukish manner, but no excuses because I'm sure I'll win plenty in flukish manner as well. You see what a miserable week 1. But as I said, I'm going to work my way back to 500. Started in week 2 going 9-6-1. My tie was taking the Bears +6 against the Texans. They lost by 6. Still 8 games under 500. You see last year that's postseason and regular season combined 36 games over 500. Let's, slowly but surely climb my way back to the 500 mark and then above. But let's take a look at who I am taking in these week 3 matchups, starting with tomorrow's game. Thursday night football, we got the Jets at home versus the Patriots. Patriots haven't looked bad. Won week 1, of course, against the Bengals. Huge upset. Took the Seahawks to overtime. Not that I'm a firm believer in the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, but, I'm not going to overreact to 2 weeks, and I just think the Jets got the well more talented roster than the Patriots. The Buccaneers have looked very good in the first 2 games. Meanwhile, Bo Nix just doesn't look ready to be a starting quarterback for the Broncos. I'm expecting the Buccaneers to win by at least a touchdown. I am a Giants fan. Not that the Browns have looked good either. The Jaguars don't look good, and that's the Browns win. They looked terrible against the Cowboys in week 1. Deshaun Watson a little better in week 2 than week 1, but I think the Browns pass rush, course, led by Myles Garrett, is going to make Daniel Jones not perform very well under pressure. It's not really sustainable to throw like 2 out of every 3 passes to Malik Neighbors as the Giants did last week. So I think the Browns win again by at least a touchdown. I think I might be in the minority with this one. And I was kind of high on the Saints. I believe I picked them in each of the first 2 weeks. Yeah, Saints were one of my 2 wins in week 1. Think I'm in the minority here, but again, you can't overreact after a 2-week stretch. So, the Eagles, I think, I'm not going to necessarily say they're the better team, but I think this should be a competitive game. And usually when I have a tough time predicting who I think will win, I go with the underdog, and that's the case in Eagles at Saints. Consider me a believer in Jim Harbaugh after 2 games. Yes, one of them was against the Panthers with Bryce Young. But the Steelers are also 2-0. I'm assuming that Justin Fields will start again, but I think J.K. Dobbins looks awesome if he can stay healthy. That's what Harbaugh likes to do, run the ball like crazy, and the Chargers win a tough game, definitely. Again, not overreacting after 2 weeks. Sam Darnold looks like an incredible quarterback. Are we going to take 2 weeks of data, or are we going to take his career in data? Not that I think he's going to be a bad quarterback the rest of the way, but, I think he'll revert to the mean eventually. And the Texans, led by Danielle Hunter, and, a pretty good defense. And I just think the Texans, too much star power. They win by at least a field goal. This was a tough one. Malik Willis back to his original team, the Tennessee Titans. I just don't believe in Will Levis at all. I feel like I was higher on the Titans than most people heading into the season, but, Will Levis just not a good quarterback. I think at some point they might turn to Mason Rudolph, but maybe Will Levis turns it around. Although I do have the Packers covering this game, Josh Jacobs. Similar game plan to last week with Jordan Love out, where they just ran the ball like crazy. Colts looking for their first win, and this is basically two struggling rookie quarterbacks. Although I know Anthony Richardson isn't a rookie, it's almost like his rookie season since he was out so much of last season. Both have really struggled, although Anthony Richardson might have the best pass of the season thus far. I think the Colts get in the win column for their first win of the season. Let's take a look at games 9 through 16 this week. Panthers. Yes, I am taking the Panthers. I'm not necessarily saying Andy Dalton's going to, lead them to 30-plus points per game, but I think that sparks them for at least 1 week, and I'm not going to say they're going to win either, but I think they at least look a little more competitive with Andy Dalton out there because Bryce Young, yeah, absolutely. I just did a video on him yesterday. Stephen A. Smith calling him worse than Jamarcus Russell. Skylar Thompson getting the start for the Dolphins. They still got their weapons where this isn't a sure thing, but we saw Jackson Smith and Jigba have the best game of his young career. Maybe he continues to build off that. I got the Seahawks favored by 4.5. Now this one, call me crazy. The Rams are down, I think, 3 offensive linemen. Down Puka Nacua. Down Cooper Kupp. The 49ers are down Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey, though. So this could be a game I regret taking, but I think the Rams usually play the 49ers somewhat competitive. Must-win game. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they could cover the 7 points. I feel like a lot of people are taking the Cardinals here. Again, one game isn't going to sway my opinions. I still think the Lions are the much better team, although I did think the Cardinals would surprise. I would have thought, maybe like 7, possibly 8 wins going into the season. But the Lions do enough. Jared Goff really needs to step it up, though, after 2, games thus far. Must-win game for the Ravens at Dallas against the Cowboys. They're favored by a point. I really went back and forth with this one. I just can't see the Ravens falling to 0-3, although, the Cowboys are what they win 12 regular season games each of the last 3 seasons. So falling to 1-2 would be a big fall. Very tough game to pick. I just think Lamar Jackson does enough, and the Ravens defense really steps up in big time moments. Falcons on the win column. Kirk Cousins' first win as a member of the Falcons last Sunday night against the Philadelphia Eagles. Was that Monday night? Man, my memory's shot. That's part of being a teacher. Anyhow, Chiefs 2-0, 2 close games. Of course, Isaiah likely a toe away from potentially winning the game as they were going to go for 2. And then, a big pass interference penalty by the Bengals helped Harrison Butker kick the game-winning field goal. The Jaguars just look bad. Trevor Lawrence, return on investment through 2 games, not good at all. And the Bills, not necessarily looking like they're missing Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen was awesome in week 1. Week 2, he was still good, but they were able to rely on the ground game led by James Cook. I'm taking the Bills favored by 5, and Bengals favored by 7.5, despite being 0-2. The Commanders 1-1. Although they were in a close game with the Giants, I'm going to take the Commanders. I'm expecting Jaden Daniels to throw his first career touchdown pass. Kind of crazy that the 3 starting quarterbacks that are rookies, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, still yet to throw a touchdown pass in the first 2 weeks. But I think Daniels at least gets 1. And does some work on the ground as well. But let me know your thoughts. Do you agree, disagree with these games? Who are some of your best bets? Again, another week over 500 I am hoping for. I really want to get that climb back to 500 after the most disastrous week 1. I'm going to get there. I hope so. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.